Good morning, Carolina Village. Thank you for joining me for the Village Vitality series. My name is Aline, and for today's class, we will be focusing on creating a sense of resiliency in the body, mind, and spirit. It doesn't necessarily mean that class is going to be super hard today and we're going to challenge ourselves, but with the breathing technique that we're doing and with some of the movements that we're doing, the focus and the goal is to create a safe challenge. So it's not like a hardcore, give it everything you got type challenge. It's more of a mind-body connection challenge, okay? So you'll figure out what that means as we go through class. For equipment today, you really only just need your chair. I do always recommend a mat, a yoga mat, if your chair moves around on the ground. Also, if you have hard flooring, it's really nice to have the padding of the mat under your feet, but not necessary. And then I always have my blocks with me, but again, they're not required or necessary for any of our movements today. They can just be a really nice tool to help assist you, excuse me, during some of the movements today. And if you need any of these 3 pieces of equipment, just call me or email me with a request, and I will deliver said equipment to your home. Okay. Hopefully, I try to do it within 24 hours, and I think I've succeeded with that, unless I get a large rush of people. But I should get it to you definitely in time for the next Village Vitality series class. Okay, so let's get ready. With our breathing technique today, we're working with Veloma Pranayama, breathing against the grain. So this creates literally a more resilient lung environment. So it's almost like training, like strength training for your lungs, which is pretty cool. And another cool thing about this technique is it is both calming and energizing. So it really balances out the nervous system functioning and just brings a sense of I don't know, what I think of as resiliency, like as just I can live and breathe and be in my body no matter what is going on around me in the outer world. So for this technique, before I guide you through it, I do want to explain briefly. It's a 3-part breathing technique. We're trying to bring the air in and deep down into the lungs so that we feel the belly rise first. Then as we keep inhaling, we feel the ribs expand, and then as we keep inhaling, we feel the chest and the collarbones lift. And that is a pretty intense and full inhale. So like you're inhaling, and you're like, Aline, I don't think I can inhale anymore. And you keep trying, and you'll feel that lift of the collarbones and chest. You might even feel an engagement in the sternocleidomastoid muscles in the neck. They're a secondary breathing muscle that once you inhale full enough, they engage to help get that last little lift out of the ribs to make more space for air for the volume of your lungs. And then, so we're breathing, feeling belly, feeling ribs, feeling chest. And then we're doing the reverse for the exhale. So as we exhale, we're emptying and releasing this area, then chest, and then the belly kind of sinks in. So just wanted to kind of visually guide you through that before we get comfy and close our eyes and I talk you through it. Okay, so with that being said, get comfy and close your eyes. For this technique, because it is a little more challenging, I don't recommend sitting up at the edge of your seat. I actually recommend you may want to lay down on your couch. You may want to recline back in your chair. So I kind of shift my hips towards the front middle part of my seat. and then just let my shoulders relax back. This one can be kind of nice to perform with a hand on the belly and a hand on the chest, just so you can feel that movement of the breath. Okay, so go ahead and get settled wherever you've decided to practice this breathing technique. And then allow your eyes to close and just start to check in. How are things going in that body of yours? Don't let your mind start rattling through a laundry list of what's wrong or whatnot, but instead shift your focus around in your internal environment. Maybe starting at a certain body part and working your way through. Just try to notice what's aching, what's feeling good, what's feeling neutral, what's feeling stuck, tight, resistant. And then begin to hone your focus in on your breathing when you're ready. If your hands are on belly and chest, do you feel any movement there when you breathe? How much movement? Maybe you only feel the hand on the chest moving, but not that hand on the belly. Relax the tongue and the jaw and the eyebrows. And try to keep them relaxed throughout this breathing practice. It may also help to visualize your body, your torso, as some kind of vessel. It could be just like a glass, like a water glass. Could be something that holds meaning in your life that is vessel shaped, or could hold what we're going to maybe envision as water or prana, our life force. Maybe you envision your vessel filling, once we get to that point, with that life force, with energy, with love, with whatever you want to draw into your life. But first, bring that vessel to mind. And then when you're ready, you're going to try to start this breathing pattern, deepening your inhale, feeling that belly rise. Then as you keep inhaling, the ribs. And then as you keep inhaling, the chest and collarbones, visualizing that vessel filling. And then as you exhale, collarbones, ribs, and then belly, sink back down. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly. Watch that vessel fill, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Keep breathing in this pattern as best as you can without overly straining or forcing. Keeping the face relaxed, the jaw relaxed. Try to stay with this breathing pattern a little bit longer if you can. Taking a few more rounds, belly, ribs, chest on your inhale, exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Finish out this next breath cycle, whatever part of the cycle you're on. And then allow your breathing to return to normal. Relax the hands. But notice that normal may be a little bit deeper now, a little bit fuller. And if you're laying down or you're reclining back in your chair, just very slowly start to lift the body up to a seated position. Coming to your sturdy chair, coming to the edge. We prop ourselves on the edge to strengthen our postural muscles, kind of creating resiliency in the spine here. Holding yourself upright is not easy, especially if you're dealing with weaker muscles or any other issues in the joints. So sit up as tall as you can. Press into the feet, press into the hips, lift up and out of the top of the head, yet the shoulders stay relaxed. And we'll begin our movements with some neck circles. So dropping right ear to right shoulder, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder, and coming up to center. Keep moving. It's really more of a half circle because we don't circle the head back uncontrolled. It's not good for the spine. And we also have some delicate vertebral arteries that weave in and out of little holes in the sticky outy parts of our bones in our neck. And we can damage those if we let the head fall back uncontrolled all the time. Start to incorporate movement in the shoulders now. So the next time you drop that right ear down, drop that left shoulder down too. And as you roll that head forward, bring the chest forward. And as you draw that left ear to left shoulder, drop that left shoulder to the left side. And then bring everything back to center. So now you're starting to make these circles in the whole spine. And make those circles as big as it feels good to your body. So maybe you're really like trying to fold that whole head forward towards the knees. Stretching out the back. Take about 2 or 3 more circles in this direction. Leading with the head. The next time you find yourself back in center, just stay here for a few breaths. Trying to lift up tall. Just trying to see what you see. What do you observe in the body? And then we're going to reverse directions, but we're going to begin with just those neck circles. So dropping the left ear to the left shoulder when you're ready. And then chin down to the chest. Right ear to right shoulder. Head to center. Start out with about 4 or 5 circles with just the neck. Because once we start to add the rest of the spine, we usually don't move the neck quite as much. So get that good neck stretching in now while we're just isolating the neck itself. One more circle. And the next time you drop that left ear to left shoulder, now you're going to dip that whole left side down. And chin drops down to chest, and the whole head comes down. Right ear to right shoulder, and you're dipping over to that right side. Again, you might not make this movement as big as I am. You might make it bigger. Try to listen to your body. I've said before, our bodies don't lie. It's just a lot of times we don't listen. We ignore. We ignore those little warning signs our body gives us. We ignore sensation because a lot of times we're trying to block out maybe pain or discomfort. But those are messages, important messages from our body. So try to move with your body, not in spite of it. Taking about one more of these circles. The next time you find yourself back in center, you'll sit up tall. Open the eyes if you have had them closed. I just realized I was teaching that whole sequence with my eyes closed, really internalizing. So finding that posture, sitting upright, shoulders back and down. Inhale to draw that right knee in towards the chest. So you're holding underneath that knee with your right hand. You're using a little bit of muscle effort here too, so don't put all of the weight in that hand. Left arm comes forward. Inhale to open the arm and the leg out to the side. Little gentle stretch here to the inner thigh and the hip. Exhale, coming back to center. Inhale to open. And exhale, center. Move with your breath. We're trying to establish this connection, this rhythm. It can be so powerful to move with your breath instead of in spite of it. Couple more of these. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. One more. And when you release that foot down, stretch that leg out long. Bring that heel down to the ground. On an inhale, bring those arms up to just cross in front of the chest, fingertips towards the shoulders. Lengthen up through the spine, inhaling to lift up, kind of maybe even wiggling like I am, kind of wiggling that spine up, creating any extra length without lifting the shoulders. On your exhale, keep this foot powerfully flexed. Start to rock forward. Keep the spine long. Rock forward until you feel that stretch in the back of the leg. Inhaling up and exhaling as you rock back, point the foot. Try to bring those toes and heel to the ground. Rock back until you feel those abdominals engage. Inhale forward or inhale up. Exhale. Rock forward, powerful flex of the foot. Toes are moving back towards you. Inhaling to center. Exhaling, rock back, point the toes. Inhale, center. Exhale, forward. Again, moving with that cycle, that rhythm of your breath. So you might be moving faster than me, depending on how quickly or how slowly you're breathing. Always exhaling to lean forward or lean back. Always inhaling to come back to center. Take one more cycle. Inhaling back to center. Exhale, release the arms. Keep that leg where it is. Let's open out to Gait Pose. Parigrasana in Sanskrit. Opening out to the sides, we're creating this 90-degree angle with the thighs. Trying to have that right leg straight out from the hip. And from here, we're just going to move side to side. You can just have hands on the hips and dip side to side with your breathing. Or if you'd like to make the movement bigger, you can incorporate arms. I'm just going to move with the elbows. I'm feeling like I want to go a little bit slower today and focus on the spinal movement more than the arm movement. But you do what feels good to you. So exhaling to side bend to that right side. Inhaling to center. Exhaling to side bend to the left. Inhaling to center. Now, beyond just focusing on the breathing, I also want you to really try to dip directly to the side, no caving forward of the chest. So you're really trying to go explicitly to the side. Exhaling as you move into your side bend, inhaling as you come to center. So we're getting into, of course, the spine here, but definitely into the leg, inner thigh, hip. And so I have curated this class to really flow with our breath. I think that's an amazing way to develop this resiliency of body, mind, and spirit when we can develop that connection. It helps us increase our awareness even when we're not practicing in class. When you've had enough side-to-side reaching and you've made it back to center, slowly start to come back to the front now. Coming back to a seated position at the edge of the chair. And we'll balance out in the body now. So you may feel a little bit unbalanced in the hips and other places. So we're going to even that out now and sequence on the other side. So on an inhale, when you're ready, draw that left knee into the chest. You're kind of hooking under that thigh, and you are probably using leg strength, not just your arm, to hold this leg up. Bring that right arm out. Remember, we're inhaling to open, exhaling to close. Trying to maintain that upright posture as best as we can. Inhaling to open and exhaling to close. Just keep moving with your breath at your own pace. No need to try to match my timing unless you really feel that that's a great breathing pace for you. Two more. Last one. When you bring that leg back to center, straighten it out. Bring it down to the ground. Toes are flexed. Foot is active. Inhale to cross the arms in front of the chest. Sit up as tall as you can. And remember, for this sequence, we're exhaling either as we lean back or forward. We're inhaling to come back to the middle. So let's start with a backwards rock. We're pointing the toes. Exhaling back, engaging the abdominals, feeling length in the spine. Inhaling to center and exhaling to hinge forward now. Toes are pointing or flexing back towards you. Spine stays long here, only dipping a little bit until you feel that stretch. Exhaling to rock back. Point. Inhaling to come to center and exhaling to rock forward and flex. Continue at your pace. Exhaling as you rock either forward or back. Inhaling to bring your body back to center. Taking about 2 more cycles of this movement. Maybe the eyes have been closed this whole time. I think that's so powerful too, to establish that connection of breath, body, mind. If it's accessible to you, if you don't feel like you're going to fall or get dizzy. Next time you come back to center, on an exhale, relax the arms. Slowly start to open out now to the right side for Gait Pose. So kind of keeping that left foot where it is, if you can. You're just pivoting in your chair. Then rooting that foot down as best you can. You may have the outer edge of the foot lifted, but really try to bring the outer foot down. This gives a nice stretch and a little more flexibility to the ankle joint. And from here, perhaps you're going to go with your arms side to side, or you might want to join my version or variation with hands on the hips. When you're ready, you start with an exhale to either side. So you're exhaling to side bend, inhaling to come to center. Exhaling, side bend, inhaling, center. Maybe your hands aren't on your hips. Maybe you're tracing down the leg. And then maybe hand to the seat of the chair. I think I'm going to go there on this side. See, it may change what feels good on one side versus the other, what feels good in one moment versus another. And we all know now, living in 2020 and 2021, that we have to be resilient to change. Everything is changing. I don't think there will be a going back to the way things were. And we have to accept that, and we have to move with that and flow with that. And there may be a grieving, absolutely. But we have to try to break out of that when we can. And this practice, this connecting the mind, body, spirit, the breath, and the movement can help with that healing and that moving forward. Take one more reach to each side. When you come back to center, you can slowly just start to bring your body back to what we call seated mountain pose, or Tadasana. So it's that posture at the edge of the seat. with the feet hip width apart. If you have blocks and you would like to use them, we're going to move into our first little vinyasa sequence where we're forward folding, releasing there, coming up and back bending. And so you might want to bring those blocks to the outer edges of the feet. If you like to do your forward fold with a wide stance because you want to get more room for the belly and the chest and maybe go a little deeper, maybe get into the hips more, then bring the blocks on the inside of the feet for that. Let's take an inhale to lift those arms, stretching out through the fingertips. Exhale to fold forward. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Back stays flat as long as it can until you relax all the way down. And remember, if you get vertigo or if there's any reason that you've been told not to lower the head below the heart, then you're going to want to maybe have the hands on the thighs and stay a little more upright, still stretching the back, but not getting as much tractioning in the spine as if you release all the way down. If you have those blocks, they're here for support, so you can adjust the height of the blocks. You can walk, my favorite personally is to walk those blocks out. I feel like it just lengthens my spine an extra 10 inches. It helps create space and flow. And with that, you can flow in this fold. So maybe you kind of twist side to side a little bit. Maybe you walk those hands over to one side. Oh, yeah. And then the other. Invite movement here within this pose. Listening to your body and what it wants and experimenting. Again, towards that idea of being resilient. We have to be connected first. Slowly, if you're using blocks like I am, walk those blocks back in towards the feet. About to lose my little earpiece here. And slowly start to come back up. Trying to lengthen the spine as quickly as you can in this lift. Drop those blocks down if you were using them. Let's move on to our back bend. So taking an inhale to maybe roll up the shoulders, open the chest. Exhale, reach those arms back for the chair. And then press that belly forward, the ribs forward, the chest forward, and breathe here. Opening into the heart space, lifting the chin. Stretching the chest. Each inhale stretches the chest a little deeper. That full inhale changing the shape of your body. When you're ready on an exhale, release that back bend. And let's draw those arms out in front of us, just folding one forearm over the other. Take a deep inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to tilt back just an inch or two until you feel that core engage. This is not a big tilt back. Exhale as you twist to the right. Tuck that right knee in. And if that knee tucking in is too much, then just do the twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, left side. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. And keep moving again with the flow of your breath. Always exhaling to twist and inhaling to come back to center. Remember, maybe you eliminate that knee tuck, especially if you're feeling a lot of uncomfortable sensation in the low back. It's probably just a little too much. That's your body saying, you know what, back off a little bit, okay? We want to strengthen the abdominals, but not by sacrificing the back. It's never worth it. That's why I never instruct crunching type movements. There's so many better ways, safer ways to strengthen the abdominals without sacrificing the spine. One more twist to each side. Coming back to center, inhale to lift out of that backwards lean. Exhale, release the arms. Let's straighten out that right leg. Grab your blocks if you have them. We're going to move into a forward fold from here. We're going to hold for quite a while. So probably about a minute. And so I want you to get as comfortable as you can. And so with blocks, that's, again, just a wonderful way to give yourself some support in this fold. If you don't have blocks, bring your hands to your left thigh or your forearm to your left thigh, just depending on your flexibility. The key with this fold is that you're trying to like fold your body in half. So you're not trying to touch the toes. You're trying to fold your belly button down to your thigh. So keeping that length in the spine and folding that belly forward, you should feel the most stretch in the hamstring muscles. And again, protect the spine. So just come down as far as your body will allow. And then try to find release. Notice the ebb and flow of your breath. With each exhale, can you release tension somewhere? Maybe you were clenching your jaw. Relax it on an exhale. Maybe you were squeezing the eyebrows together. Relax them on an exhale. Maybe you were bunching the shoulders up to the ears. Relax them on an exhale. Maybe you're tightening in the back or the hips or the glutes. Relax on an exhale. Just trying to let your body feel heavy, like it's sinking down, especially the torso. It's melting down, sinking down. Maybe you can walk those blocks out further or bring those hands down lower. As you rest and relax and release here, you might find that you can move a little deeper. But only you know the inner workings of your body, and you can only know that if you listen. So back out of this stretch if and when you need to. But otherwise, with each exhale, keep practicing that relaxation. Because just because you release those eyebrows once doesn't mean that they haven't now crept back into place. So try to keep that focus. You might have to release everything every single time you exhale because it wants to tighten. As you feel ready, very slowly, very intentionally start to lift back up and out of this stretch. So if you're using blocks and you've walked them forward like I have, walk them in first. Bring hands to the thigh, lengthen out the spine. Slowly starting to lift. And from here, we're going to shift into a high lunge position. So you might want to move those blocks out of the way if you're using them. keeping that right foot where it is. We're trying to open out past gait. So here we'd be in gait pose again. We're trying to keep going. So deep stretch here, pivoting onto the back toes and trying to square the hips towards, like, so they're both moving in the same direction as that front knee. And from here, go ahead and give yourself some support. Bring that left hand to the chair, maybe right hand to the hip. And we're going to take 3 breaths here, exhaling to fold forward any amount, keeping the spine long, noticing where you feel sensation and stretch. Inhaling to come up. Taking another inhale to move into any amount of a back bend. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's just the chest opens and the chin lifts. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, back bend. Continue with this breathing cycle a few more times. Pardon my sound effects here. Just feeling it. It's feeling good. Maybe one more of each. And relax that hold. So you can relax that back foot and leg. Start to shift back towards gait pose. But from here, we're just going to draw that right leg in. And we want to shift and scoot in the chair until we're fully supported here. So the hips are fully on the chair. Feet are on the ground, so you may have to come forward a little bit. We're going to work on some deep twisting. And actually, if you can, you do, like my shin height works really well with this chair. I can scoot all the way back. You do want to try to scoot as far back as you can while still keeping the feet on the ground, because we're going to be twisting towards the back of our chair. We're trying to hold on to it in our twist. So taking a deep inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, twist towards the back of that chair. Maybe the left hand comes to one side and the right hand to the other. Oh yeah. And inhale, release. Exhale, twist. And inhale, release. One more twist. This time we're going to hold it. Not for very long, but for a couple breaths. With each inhale, can you lengthen up through the spine any amount more, feeling the shoulders over the hips, the head over the shoulders. And with each exhale, can you micro twist any amount more? One more inhale. And on an exhale, release. Maybe taking a little bit of a counter twist, just opening the chest over to that right side. And go ahead and walk those feet back to center now. We'll take that vinyasa, that flow sequence on the other side now. So basically that whole sequence to balance out. If you're using those blocks for your forward fold, go ahead and place them, or you can hold them in your hands as you inhale up and fold forward and all of that. Edge of your chair, sitting tall. Just pausing for a moment here in Tadasana. Go ahead and open those palms forward. Arms are active, fingers are active. Inhale to lift. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Releasing down, stretching and tractioning that spine. Sorry, having a little issue here. There we go. My little cord got stuck. If you're using blocks, again, maybe you want to walk them out front. Maybe you want to walk them side to side. See what your body is feeling like it wants. It may be different than the first time that we did this in class. I'm going to widen my feet and come a little deeper here. Just hanging out here, a breath or two more. If you're watching the screen, I have done an interesting little variation here. I walked my feet wider out and made a T with my blocks so I could rest my forehead down on top of the blocks. Again, just listening to that body. On your next inhale, start the process of lifting. So I recommend hands coming to the thighs. So you can press into those hands for a little bit of support as you try to lift and lengthen up and out. Inhaling to roll those shoulders up. Exhaling to roll them back and down and reach back behind you for either side of the chair. Inhale to puff up the front of the body so you're pressing that belly forward, pressing the ribs forward, the chest, lifting that chin for your back bend. Breathing here. One more deep inhale. And on your exhale, release. Go ahead and get those blocks out of the way if you need to. And we'll get ready for our twisting strengthening. So if you had walked those feet wide, walk them back to hip width. Inhale to cross the arms. Exhale to tilt back. Any amount, maybe just an inch or two. And then you're exhaling to twist left, maybe drawing that left knee up and in to engage the lower abdominals and hip flexors a little more. Inhaling to center. Exhaling right. Inhaling center. Moving with your breath. And if that knee tuck doesn't feel good, or the leaning back and the twist doesn't feel good, change it up. Maybe you're just upright, twisting side to side. Try about 2 more twists to each side, so 4 twists total. And come back up to center. Exhale, release those arms. Let's stretch out that back, stretch out that left leg with our seated forward fold with that straight left leg. So you're straightening that leg out. Remember, our goal here is not, can we touch the toes? Although that's cool, maybe if you can. But we're trying to bring that belly button down to the thigh. So lengthen that spine. Hinge at the hip crease. Fold forward. Any amount. So remember, maybe your hands are on this thigh. Try not to put weight in that left leg in terms of your hands. Maybe your forearm is down here on that right leg. Maybe you can reach the hands down to the ground. So this is assuming you don't have blocks. You can bring that left hand to the ankle, but do not press any higher. Nowhere near the knee. Maybe those hands come to blocks. We're going to try to fold here for an extended amount of time. So where can you find release? Where can you let go in the body? Maybe it's even just those left toes. So I noticed I was hyper flexing my left toes. No need. Let's relax. I do want to keep that ankle flexed or that foot flexed, but no need to have that extra tension. Can you let that head hang heavily down? Let your body settle. Let it melt down deeper into your stretch. With your deep, easy, maybe not so easy, but you're trying for easy breaths in and out. Each exhale, releasing somewhere, something. Maybe it's the same thing over and over. Maybe you'd like to release emotions or release thoughts or anything else that no longer serves you, that no longer moves you forward, that no longer contributes to your health. Couple more deep breaths here. When you're ready, an inhale will begin that process of lifting. Maybe taking a breath or two or three to come all the way up. Get those blocks out of the way. And keeping that left foot where it is, we're going to shift all the way into a high lunge on this side. So you may want to kind of pause once you get to that gait pose. And then keep shifting the hips. So I'm trying to kind of move that left hip forward, pivoting on to the back toes. And keep in mind, your leg may be much more bent. It may be a little more like so. But if you can, you're trying to straighten it out any amount behind you. From here, we're going to take 3 breaths. The first one we'll kind of practice and feel it out. So right hand to the chair for support. Exhale to start to fold forward any amount. Take a breath or 2 here. And then inhale to come up into a back bend. Remember, a back bend may just be squeezing those shoulder blades together, and that's it. You may be able to lift the chin. You may be able to dip the head back a little bit. And then let's move 3 more times, breath by breath. So exhaling to hinge forward. Inhaling to back bend. Shining that heart up and out. Exhaling forward. Inhaling back bend. One more time. And release that movement. Start to release that leg. Start to shift into a sideways seated position. So I'm just going to walk this left foot in. I'm going to shift my hips all the way towards the back of the chair. Again, because I can keep my feet down. If I can't keep my feet down, I'm going to want to shift further forward until I'm able to plant those feet. Taking our twists here, 3 twists. The first 2 are dynamic, meaning we're not really pausing for any length of time. And the last one will hold for several breaths. Take a deep inhale to lift and lengthen out of the hips. Exhale, twisting to that right side. Maybe the right hand comes to the outer edge of the chair, left hand to the other outer edge. And inhale to release. Exhale, twist. Inhale, release. Exhale, third twist. This time we're going to breathe in this twist. Inhaling to lift and lengthen any amount more. Exhaling to twist any amount more. And maybe it's just the sensation of deepening the twist and you're not actually going any deeper. But each inhale, try to lengthen up through the crown of the head. And each exhale, try to twist a little deeper. Without force. Just taking the body to its natural limits, exploring, connecting. The breath is your guide. Take one more deep inhale. And exhale, release that twist. And then start to walk those feet back to, oh, I forgot, maybe a little counter twist if that feels good to you. And then walk those feet back to center. We'll come up to standing now, coming behind the chair, just for a brief standing sequence. So you can move through chair pose if you would like to, or you can just come all the way up. I do recommend moving this chair forward if you are using a mat. Move this chair forward to the front edge so you have that mat space behind you. And just like most of our movements today, we've been repeating 3 times. We're going to do that same thing with this brief sequence to just help with our balance and to kind of, it's the culmination of the class before Shavasana. So it's kind of like all the opening and the movements we've been doing have been to lead to this place, to this sequence. So come forward. You don't want to be right up on your chair. You do want to be a couple inches back, maybe about 6 to 8 inches. Feet are hip width apart. You're going to take a pretty big step back with that left foot. Now, before you do so, you want to think like you're on railroad tracks. So when I step that foot back, I want to keep it kind of out to the side. I want to keep following that line and keep my feet hip width apart. So you could even trace or drag that foot back. So bend into that front knee, wiggle that foot back, coming into a lunge position. So my back foot is rooted down. It's at about a 45-degree angle. And my hips are squared towards the chair. Now, if you're having trouble doing that, your hips are a little more at an angle, that probably means you need to walk this left foot out to the side more to accommodate for your hip width and flexibility. And it may mean you're too spread out and you need to shorten that stance. Coming to Warrior One. So you can still hold on to the chair here, but those of you who are able to, maybe one arm up or both. We're bending into that front knee. We should probably be feeling a lovely stretch here in the front of that left hip. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale. If you have the arms lifted, you're going to bring them to the chair. Straighten that front leg, but don't lock the joint out. So we want to keep just a micro bend in that knee. And we're trying to drop or melt that head down towards the chair. So keeping length in the spine, pressing back with that right hip. So I want to feel like I'm pushing that right hip back and I'm pushing the left hip forward. Pyramid. And then slowly from here, start to bend that right knee. Push on to the left toes and see if you can float that left leg up for warrior 3. Maybe one arm extends out. Slowly exhale, coming back to warrior 1. So you want to keep that train track type stance. Inhaling up for warrior 1. Maybe one arm lifts or both or none. Maybe you're still just holding onto the chair. Take an exhale to start to straighten that front leg and fold forward into pyramid. Slowly start to bend that right knee. So we held that first one, but now we're going to flow. Inhale to lift up, warrior 3. Maybe one arm comes out or both. Exhale, release back down. One more time, warrior 1. Deep inhale. Exhale, pyramid. Take a breath here. Inhale, warrior 3. This time on an inhale, come all the way up to standing. Wiggle it out. Let's balance out and do the other side. Then we'll have a lovely Shavasana. So finding those feet hip width apart, take your time to set up that first warrior 1. This is your starting point. This is what you're kind of trying to come back to each time. So make sure you get set up well here. So those feet are on that train track path. That back foot, the toes are angled at about a 45-degree angle. And you're trying to lift up chest over hips. So maybe you can lift one arm, keeping the other arm here for support. Or maybe you can lift both. We're going to hang out here about 2 or 3 breaths. Front knee is bent. That thigh is active. On an exhale, start to bring those hands down if they were lifted. Straighten that front leg. Taking care not to lock the knee or the back knee. Now, as you hinge forward, I want you to press that left hip back and press the right hip forward. Oh yeah, getting that stretch in the hamstrings. This is why we spent a lot of time opening in the back of the legs, specifically for pyramid, Parsvottanasana. Slowly start to bend into that left knee. Press off with that back foot. Try to lift that leg up. Warrior 3, maybe that left arm moves forward. Maybe not. And let's move a little faster now. So bringing that foot back down. Inhaling, warrior 1. Exhaling, pyramid. Inhaling, warrior 3. And exhaling back down. So really just one breath in each pose, but of course you can do more if you can't quite manage that one breath. Inhaling up. Exhaling, triangle, or not triangle, pyramid. Inhaling up to warrior 3. And exhaling back to standing. Good work. Shake it out. Let's take one final just restorative little standing downward dog. So hands can be on the back of the chair. If you've done class with me before, you'll know this one. So we're trying to walk those feet back, traction out the spine. If you feel pretty flexible, you can try this with hands on the seat of the chair. It is just going to take you a little bit deeper into your stretch. So be careful with that. See where you want to go. Release down. Just a couple breaths here. Maybe bending one knee and straightening the other. When you're ready to come up, slowly start to lift the head first. Walk those feet back in. Coming to standing. And go ahead and find your spot for Shavasana. So this is our final posture where the practice just all comes together. So all of the work that we've done towards linking body, mind, and spirit kind of all mixes in and settles into those cells here. So if you can, you're going to lay down on your couch, on the floor, on your bed, you know, especially if you're like using an iPad or a laptop and you can just bring me into the next room. But if you're staying in your chair, or maybe you want to just recline in a more comfortable chair, like an armchair, or like a lazy boy or whatever. But if you're staying in your chair, just try to get as comfortable and relaxed as you can. So I like kind of open and close those legs, let my feet kind of fold open. So like the soles of my feet aren't even really fully on the ground. So I'm just kind of loosey-goosey in those legs. And then if you're laying down, you can do so with arms out from the body, palms up. If you're in your chair, maybe interlace the fingers without any muscle effort, really. It's just the friction will kind of hold those hands together. And just start to settle in. Start to release the breath, just like you're releasing the body. With each gentle and natural exhale, can you find tension to release? Let's start at the head. Relaxing the forehead. Relaxing the eyebrows. Relaxing the cheeks. Relaxing the lips. Relaxing the jaw. Relaxing the tongue. Relaxing the neck. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the chest. Relaxing the upper back. Relaxing the abdomen. Relaxing the lower back. Relaxing the fronts of the hips. Relaxing the backs of the hips. Relaxing the thighs. Relaxing the knees. Relaxing the shins. Relaxing the calves. Relaxing the feet. feeling your body heavy, relaxed, full, content, at ease. Now begin to draw your inhales a little deeper into your body. Inviting back a sense of movement just in the ribs and the belly and the chest from your breathing. And then as that movement increases, begin to draw movement to the fingers and the toes. As if your body is awakening after a deep, long sleep. Having to start small, just wiggling the fingers and the toes. And then starting to make a little bit bigger movements, maybe scrunching the toes and making fists with the hands. And then stretching out the fingers and the toes. And scrunching and stretching. Maybe rolling the ankles and the wrists now. And then when you feel so inclined, taking a deep stretch if it feels good, reaching out through the fingers and the toes, the arms come overhead and you stretch and you lengthen. And if you're on your back here, you can draw the knees into the chest and roll over to one side and press yourself up to seated. You can stay reclined. Those of us seated, use your hands to just help press you to an upright seated position. Keeping the eyes closed or the eyelids heavy. Everyone drawing the palms together in front of the heart, whether you're laying down or you're seated. May this resiliency that is within you, it's there. You have to cultivate it. Let it shine out through every thought, every action, and every word. Namaste. You can blink your eyes open whenever you're ready. Thank you so much for joining today. I just hope that felt good in your body, and I hope you feel, I don't know, just that sense of power, calm, beauty, all the things that you might want to bring into your life. Hopefully you feel that harmony in the body. So if you have any questions, let me know. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next time. Bye.